I didn't want to dodge that one. I wanted to dodge the other one. In fact, it's very important that I dodge the other one, and I don't... Fuck you! Fuck you, game! You know I wasn't trying to dodge the single horn guy with one little slash that wasn't going to hit me anyway. I was trying to dodge the guy that was coming at me with a fucking whirlwind. Link's flesh could be coming one with Prince Sidon's flesh by now. Link and Sidon could be consuming each other's essence by now. Can you tell I'm getting more frustrated with my gameplay style? It's a little subtle. Link and Sidon could have completed the ritual by now. I was trying to side jump that, but okay. God damn it. Why do I even bother? why do I even bother? Why bother? Yay! I finally got one! Ooh, that archer's trying to come from far away. And he's much better up close. Okay. Sometimes I wonder, is this LP, like, good content? Is this entertaining to watch? Because to me, I'm worried that it's going to feel repetitive and stale, and it's going to seem like I'm just not very good at video games. And then I remember that by a considerable margin, my most watched LP is The Witness. So apparently that description I just gave in terms of how I feel about my own content, completely irrelevant to whether people like it. So I'm just going to keep gunning for it. Let's just see what happens. Despite how many of these things are going wrong, I am realizing that it is not quite as hopeless as it seemed to try and approach this battle conventionally. I think it's a slightly tougher fight, but it is more entertaining to watch, and it's honestly more entertaining to play. So that's why I've kind of stuck to this strategy, as hopeless as it seems at the outset. The fact that I've been, like, kind of able to cut through at least most of the unshielded mobs pretty easily, gives me hope that this strategy might, if I invest in it and I practice at it and I try to get better at it, it might actually be worth it in the long run. We'll see. It's just a matter of, can I make sure they don't surround me, because that's pretty difficult. Oh, he was in the middle of his whirlwind. I don't mind sharing my hot takes, but I did some thinking from this session since the last one. I went on as I'm sure some of you recall, I went on a long rant about From Software games and how they all seem the same. And I feel like perhaps I was being unfair. I think it is fair to say those games are simply not for me. Please don't try to convince me to play them. I stand by that aspect. I think, especially as someone who has not played them, it is probably not a fair objective criticism to say they're all the same. They all seem exactly the same. As someone who is still an MCU fan and has been through the years, I get frustrated when that criticism is leveled at the MCU, because I know that there is a good amount of variety in there, and there's also, I also recognize that, yes, they should spice it up a little bit more, particularly in recent years. Clearly, the formula is no longer as magical as it once was, but there's a point where it's like, sometimes a formula works. I've seen people look at the first Ant-Man movie and be like, it's so much like the same storyline as the first Iron Man movie, and I don't care, because Ant-Man is a damn good movie. It's funny, and it's great, and it has good characters and good action, and I really like Ant-Man. And so, I as an MCU fan, can look at everything and go, yes, there are certain aspects that repeat, there are certain patterns that repeat, but that doesn't mean they're all bad, and it doesn't mean they're not still fun for me to consume. And there's things in each one that feel new enough that keeps it fresh, and I still enjoy it. And so it's kind of unfair of me to say the same thing about Dark Souls games and all the Soulsborns, that's the phrase that they use for it. Probably unfair for me to say the same thing about all the Soulsborns. And yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge that. I stand by. I don't think Soulsborns are for me. And that's all I gotta say about that. But yeah, I just did some reflecting, and as someone who gets a little bit... The other thing is, I can also, and I hope Soulsborne fans understand this, I can understand, even though I disagree with it, I can't understand the criticism of they're all pretty much the same, and that's getting tiring. I understand that criticism, and even though it doesn't bother me, sometimes it does. Sometimes it is too formulaic. Not every movie is a hit. But on the whole, to write off the whole thing and say, I'm done with the MCU, I'm not going to watch any more MCU stuff, or I'll never get into the MCU. I respect someone who feels that way, but if they're writing it off because they think it's bad and it's objectively terrible, I do disagree with that. And so in the same vein, I take back that Soulsborne's games are bad for being similar to each other. As someone who does not care for the formula on a personal level, I am not going to enjoy it when the formula is only slightly altered every time. And thus, it's not for me. It's not my cup of tea. Zelda games are often my cup of tea. Although it's weird realizing that, at this point, because I try to play some of the more obscure ones, Zelda 1 was bad. Zelda 2 was a slog at points, even though in the end I actually really liked it. Spoiler, I've played through, the first 6 hours of Ocarina. Honestly didn't enjoy it that much. I'm excited to get back to it. That's a game that I want to get all the way through and be like, hell yeah, I've done Ocarina. But I don't want to say it hasn't aged well. It has not aged in a way that works particularly well for me. Whereas Zelda 1 has objectively not aged well. Zelda 1 is an objectively bad game by today's standards. I'm not saying the same thing about Ocarina. I'm saying there are aspects of Ocarina that have not clicked with me on account of it being from a previous generation of games. that I'm not used to. God damn it. Alright, I don't think that archer is in any danger of hitting me if I just keep moving. But we are also approaching shield only, boys. I don't even know what hit me there. I see a guy mid-swing, but I don't think I was close enough for that. I don't even know what that was. Sorry, I was mid-thought. Wind Waker I loved, but as having played that alongside the world's biggest Wind Waker fan, I think we can all agree the last chunk of Wind Waker of hunting that Triforce species is an absolute slog. So that aspect of it was fun because I was doing it with my best friend, one of my, I don't know. I don't want to rank friends. You can have multiple best friends. My best friend. It was fun because of that. I don't know how fun it would be if I had done that alone. But there were also many parts of Wind Waker that I really, really did enjoy. Twilight Princess, top tier. Breath of the Wild was great. So yeah, still definitely have played way more Zelda games that I loved than I did not love. But it is funny with my particular experience of having playing some of the older ones. I've played through a lot of Zelda and been like, this is not fun. I'm not enjoying this. DS ones are all solid, and by all I mean both. I don't have a 3DS. I'm only referring to Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks there. Which, by the way, I was watching Actually, and at one point they referred to the game Phantom Tracks, and they meant Spirit Tracks, but I realized in the same way that Soulsborne can refer to both the Dead Souls, Dark Souls games, and what is Dead Souls? Dark Souls and Demon Souls are both from Software games. Is Dead Souls something else? I don't know. And Bloodborne. I feel like Phantom Tracks is a good a good term to refer to just both of the Zelda DS games, which are very purposefully similar. They're very akin to Breath of the Wild versus Tears of the Kingdom, in terms of direct plot sequel, reusing a bunch of assets, reusing a bunch of concepts. So, in the same way that I think we should probably come up with a term to refer to the Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom duo, I like the idea of Phantom Tracks being how you refer to those two games as a bundle. Breath of the Kingdom or Tears of the Wild? Breath of the Kingdom seems more apt in terms of let me clearly describe which two games I'm talking about. But Tears of the Wild, that sounds evocative. That sounds vague and evocative, which you gotta love. Nice. Off to a good start. Didn't mean to do that. was a nice little thing we had going right there, huh? God damn it! God damn it! Wow! Fuck me, I guess. I remember when I was little, not super little, probably 3rd or 4th grade. Like, I'm not talking preschool. I mean, like, a little older than that. Because when you say really little, I feel like that evokes like toddler imagery, and I'm like not quite that young. When I was pretty little, that's a good way to describe like elementary school, right? Pretty little. And then when I was little could refer to anywhere from toddler to middle school. High school, you're not little anymore. You're definitely not little. I would say 8th grade is around the time you're no longer little, but I could look at a 7th grader and be like, yeah, that's a little kid. Anyways, when I was pretty little, I remember I was not the person being talked to, but someone I was like in a car with. I think we were probably driving a basketball practice or something. The adult in the car, someone else's parent, asked another kid who was not their child, who's your best friend? I don't know why the conversation got to this. We were probably talking about something else beforehand, and the adult was just trying to relate to the kids. It was like, who's your best friend? And the person listed like 2 or 3 people. And the parent was like, you can't have multiple best friends. You have to have one best friend. And the kid was like, I don't care. I have multiple best friends. And I agree with that little kid. Don't remember who it was. It was someone I probably knew personally, but I have no memory of who it was. Might have been on my basketball team. Might not have. I could be making up the fact that this was on the drive to basketball practice. There's no way for me to know because that memory is completely gone aside from what was literally spoken out loud. But yeah, I think there should be a limit. I think you should be able to count your number of best friends on one hand. I think 5 is kind of the limit for best friends. You can have really close friends, and I could say you probably have about 10 to 15 of those. You can have 10 to 15 really close friends. Actually, I would say, hang on, no. I would say 10 close friends. No, hang on, sorry. I'm getting mixed up. I had a plan in mind, and I just misspoke. You can have 5 best friends, 10 really close friends, 15 close friends, 25 to 30 friends. And I think outside of that, especially once you get to be an adult, your mental capacity starts getting into acquaintance territory. And you can be like on very friendly terms with acquaintances. I think not all acquaintances are equal. But there comes a point where if you are with one person that's beneath the top 30 and another person beneath the top 30 and you had to introduce them to each other, you might hesitate to say, this is my friend, this is my friend. You might instead say, I know this person from work. Or you could even say, that's another thing, is if there's a qualifier to it, that actually, then that counts for, that can go past 30. Because a friend from work is not the same as a friend. You can have a friend from work who is not in the top 30, and I don't think you would call them... I keep saying you. This is my own personal experience. If your gut instinct when introducing someone is to say friend from work, they might be a friend in the top 30, but I think there's a chance that they would not otherwise be referred to as you would not call them your friend. You would only use the qualifier, my friend from work. And in that sense, like, you can have 30 friend with a capital F, and then after the top 30, it starts getting into a qualifier territory where they're still technically friends, but they have to be a friend from work, a friend from school, you know? You got to start adding qualifiers on for them to make the friend cut. all that is to say, I have multiple best friends, and if you're wondering, I wonder if he's talking about me. Yeah, you're probably. I can't guarantee, but probably yes. I think you're my best friend. Unless you formed a very unhealthy parasocial relationship with this channel and you've never actually met me in person and you don't know my real name, unfortunately, I don't think you're my best friend. I'm sorry. I need to call that boundary right now. That's not what I mean. But you know. There's not have to be an intense competition among my close friends as to who's my best friend. I have a couple best friends. I love them all. And if you're paying attention to the phrasing of all, then you might be able to piece together that there are at least 3. Because that's the other thing is, these are all upper limits. You can have just one best friend if you want. If that's really if that's what floats your boat, you really got one specific best friend, that's fine too. I'm just saying you can't really go over 5 for best friends. At that point, they're just very close friends. The thing about this Let's Play is that you can either get fun commentary or good gameplay, or neither. It's never going to be both. I guarantee you it will never be both. Oh man, I was tempted to pause the game, but I was like, no, it's going to be good content if I just play through the sneeze. And I was in that span of 30 seconds just now, I was probably playing my absolute best mid-sneeze. And it wasn't until after I went, oh shit, I'm still alive, after I completed the sneeze, that I then rapidly died. So that's just interesting statistics that we've got going here. Did the big guy do a little dance there? What was that? Nice. I can get the double up here. Double up here. Yes. Beautiful. Rodan would be proud. Golly. He was barely even in frame. I knew he was close. And as soon as he stands still, he's going to start getting ready for an attack. So I should have seen that coming, but alas. Alas and alack. Oh, okay. Ah. An off-screen slash. That's how they get you. I didn't like that. That was rude. That was extra rude. My life is nothing I thought it would be and everything I was worried it would become, because for 50 seconds I thought there was monsters on the world. Remember Gree? Go watch Gree, guys. It's only 7 parts. Or better yet, play Gree. It's a good game. It made me cry about as much as this game is probably going to. If this keeps up. If I ever get a therapist and they ask what I do for fun, my response is gonna be like, I do things that are supposed to be fun, but I purposely make them less fun. That's gonna be my honest to God response to that, because of shit like this. Does that say something about me? Is that bad? Should I not be doing this? What do you do for fun? Well, I torture myself. So are you like a masochist? No, I do it because when I first say it to myself, it seems like it might be fun, and then it's not. But I'm a stubborn ass bastard who decides that I'm going to keep doing it even when it's not fun. My therapist will say that doesn't seem like a very fun way to live, and I go, it's not, but it's good content. Nice. Then the therapist will rightfully ask, is it good content? And I'll say, I don't know. But The Witness was my most viewed LP by a considerable margin, so I can't tell anymore. There's no way to know. Anyways, back to it. I'm having more fun now than the previous strategy. I know it's less effective, but it's more fun. I already said that before, but I'm reconfirming when everyone's like, why isn't he doing the optimal thing of go take out all the archers? It's because I am legitimately having more fun this way. Not like that. That was less fun. That was weird because I got the perfect dodge, but also it hit the shield. Damn it.